Welcome in, everybody. Sean here with the Red, White, and Bills. Got a special video for you tonight. I know I'm mixing baseball and football, and you're probably wondering why Washington and why Buffalo. Well, I've been a Washington fan since I was 9, so it's just one of those weird things. But anyway, the video, you saw that in the description, is titled Bust or Trust. And we're talking about Cody Ford today, because I see a lot of people in the Bills Mafia, a lot of content creators. They always mention how they think Cody Ford's a bum, he's a bust, get rid of him, he's trash, this and that. And I'm going to give you my point of view, and then it'll leave you guys the choice of, do you think he's a bust, or do you trust him to be a contributor to this team? And I'm just going to start by saying Cody Ford, when he was in college, he started off at guard, but then by the time he was a senior in college, he started every single game at right tackle. Then the Buffalo Bills draft him. And then what does he play in his rookie season? He plays right tackle. So keep that in mind also. So his first year as a right tackle, he played 15 games. The 16th game, we rested our starter, so he didn't play before the playoffs. So he played 15 games, started every single one of them. He completed 739 snaps. He allowed 7 sacks as a rookie, which was good for 12th in the league. He had 8 penalties, which was good for 23rd in the league. Only 1 QB hit and 31 total pressures. And this was as a rookie at right tackle. And you're probably thinking, well, 31 pressures sounds like a lot. But you got to put into consideration, he was a rookie, he's learning, because, we use that same excuse for, say, Spencer Brown, against the Titans. He got blown up on pass protection multiple times, costed us a turnover, but the excuse that other people are using is, he's a rookie, he'll learn. Okay, but Spencer Brown's also not going to be moving to right guard next year. So before I move into my next segment of this, I'm just going to talk a little bit about his Cody Ford situation. So as we talked about, he started off as a right tackle, and then in 2020, they think, let's try to move him to left guard. Feliciano's going to miss some games. We'll put him in at left guard. He didn't perform that well at all. And then that's when people start thinking like, what's his place on this team? But one thing I will say, offensive line, every position is different. You may think, guard could play guard, left guard could play right guard, right tackle could play left tackle. And that's not always the case. You may get lucky and have offensive linemen like, Feliciano, he could play center if you need him to. He could also play left guard and right guard, he also hasn't been great this year, but that's a different topic. But the point being is, he's shown, even as a rookie, that he could perform well at right tackle. And I don't know if most of you remember, when we played the Broncos, he was lined up against future Hall of Famer Von Miller. And Von Miller had a lot of great praise for him after the game. Mentioned how he was impressed about how well he handled himself. He could say that as a future Hall of Famer, he's incredible. And this was all as a rookie. So my mind is like, why, if he showed you that as a rookie, why wouldn't you have put him at right tackle the next year? Because he showed that he could do it. But then we bring in Darrell Williams, who in Carolina could not play guard well, who could play tackle well. So they put him at tackle thinking, we can interchange Cody Ford. Like I said, it's not always the case with offensive line. Like, the guy we all miss, Quentin Spain. He's a left guard through and through. You put him at right guard, things might be different. But, we all know about Quentin Spain. So, and it's okay. That's okay to not be able to play more than one position on the offensive line. It's a rare thing. And, I have a friend who played offensive line in college. He played it in high school. He coaches it now. And he even says, there's certain people you can't put at tackle and you can't put at guard. there's certain tangibles and, things of that nature. And it's just, there's body types and a lot of things go into it, and Cody Ford has, unfortunately, he hasn't been able to play great guard in the NFL. Yeah, he played it a little bit in college, but as we all know, college and the NFL speeds is 100% different. So what I'm really going to boil down to is, I think since he's proven he could play right tackle, why didn't we give him more of a shot in 2020 at right tackle? But before I get into the end of that segment right there, I'm going to bring up who was the best tackle in 2019. He played left tackle, and it was Ronnie Stanley from the Baltimore Ravens. He was the highest graded according to all these stats were right from PFF website, and they're a reputable source, and numbers don't lie. He had 0 sacks in 2019, incredible. 1 QB hit, just like Cody Ford. Only 6 pressures, which is also incredible, and 4 flags. So we have Cody Ford and flags also. But the reason why I'm comparing these two is because I'm taking what Cody Ford did as a rookie, comparing it to who was the best tackle in the NFL. So I'm not trying to say Cody Ford is comparable to the best tackle in the NFL, but as a rookie, he's putting these numbers up, which are all pretty good numbers. I mean, putting into consideration learning something new every game and going against height, couple Hall of Famers, great defensive ends, just learning every day. And Ronnie Stanley, who's a very proven tackle, this was who was the best in 2019. So when you really think about it, he's proven he can't play that great a guard right now. But does that mean you should just, if you really want to see him at a guard position, if the coaches really think he can make that change, it's going to take more than half of a 2020 season before injury, and then 3 games or 4 games this year before he gets benched. And a lot of people want to say bust, but you have to think about the definition of bust. A bust is not someone who has proven he can play at a high level and produce and then struggle. A bust is someone who you draft and doesn't do anything. It has never been good. Like Nate Peterman. We drafted him and we're like, oh, he's, he played a preseason game, everyone's all high on him, and then he was never good, not once. And that's a bust. Like Brandon Weeden on the Browns a few years ago, that's a bust. Like, you can't take a guy who's proven he could play this position and then they move him around and shuffle him. Like I said, each position on the line is different. So he went from right tackle to left guard to injury to right guard, and everyone's expecting him to, because of his draft in the second round, to be disabled. He can play 3 positions on the offensive line. Like, it's just not really realistic. And I know Darrell Williams is doing that right now. He went from right tackle to right guard, but he's great, but you can see the difference in his play. And I'm not saying that I want my offensive lineman to be able to be interchangeable. Feliciano being able to play center in both guard positions is very rare, and it's a great asset to have on your team, especially if Mitch Morse goes down. You can have Feliciano go in there if you need him, or you replace him with someone else and then keep Feliciano in the reserve. But I digress. It's just when I look at all these stats, and I remember watching him in 2019. I was super impressed with him, and I was excited to see his future. I don't know what made the coaches think, let's move him in, because the way I'm looking at it, yeah, he played guard in college, but then they moved him to right tackle as senior year. So it seemed like there was I didn't watch much of him in college, but especially before his senior year. Anyway, in college he got switched to right tackle, and he started every game at right tackle in college his senior year. And then he got drafted, and then he plays every game his rookie season at right tackle, including a playoff game. And everyone's wondering, why can't he play guard? He should be able to. You drafted him. He played guard before. They think it's his natural position. College, you do a lot of development before you get to the NFL. So if they thought, let's move him to tackle, there was a reason for it. He didn't just wake up one year and was like, hey coach, put me at right tackle this year just to see how it goes. Like, it's not how it works. So my opinion on Cody Ford, I trust that he's going to be an asset to this team. I hope he is. And because I've seen something today, a rumor that the Chargers are looking, to possibly looking into Cody Ford. I don't know if it was a reputable source or not. I just saw it, didn't click on it, but it had you thinking, like, I think that would be a huge mistake. Now, if not this year, he could still be a great depth player, but see what happens next year. Maybe he takes this whole year to develop better at guard, and then maybe next year in training camp, things change. But it's a new position on the offensive line, and you can't just be like, oh well, that's it. He's done. He's a bust after 3 years. After a year, he proved he could do it. He missed almost all last year with an injury, and then he played a few games this year. So I really want to know what you guys think. I'm going with trust. Let me know if you think Cody Ford is a bust or a trust. And I'm going to be bringing out more content. We have, I'm linking up, doing a collab with a Buffalo Bills Instagrammer on his channel, on his Instagram on Sunday. I think we're planning on either in the morning around lunchtime or at night before the game. I will drop his link to his Instagram in the channel, in the description, so you guys can all tune in and go support him. He just hit 1,000 followers. He puts out nice content. He's a great guy, and I'm very excited to do my first collab with someone. And we're gonna talk Bills, of course, and we hope to see you there. Go Bills.